Good morning. It's time to get up. It's time to wake up, to get after it, get into God's Word. In John chapter 6, verse 5, when Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy even enough bread for each one to have a bite." Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. When they all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them, filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who has come into the world." Jesus, knowing that they intended to come and make him a king by force, withdrew to a mountain by himself. Now here we see a scene today that I think would shake any of us. Today, I don't know what you have on your calendar, but if you had this scenario happen in your life, it probably rattle you. Here you have Jesus, and here you have the disciples, and here you have this big old crowd that's coming, and Jesus asked the disciples something that seems impossible. I mean, it seems like crazy talk. Hey, we're going to feed these people. Say again, Jesus, we're going to do what? I mean, maybe if we have like a year to plan, 6 months, give us a little time here, Jesus, and we're going to have to do some plans, make some preparation. No, I want you to take care of them. I want you to feed them. We couldn't do that. Remember, he said there in the text, it would take half a year's wages to even give them a bite. So here's a lot of hungry people, a lot of hungry guys, a lot of hungry families that are looking at Jesus and the disciples. And Jesus asked the disciples what seems impossible, but it wasn't, right? It wasn't with Jesus. Nothing's impossible with him. They took here this small boy's lunch, and Jesus blessed it and did a miracle. It was a miracle. It was beyond what they could do or we could do, but with Jesus, it wasn't impossible. He blessed it, and we don't know exactly how it happened, but as he passed it out, they were kept on passing, and there continued to be more and more and more, and everyone there ate till they were stuffed, had all that they wanted, and then on top of that, there was 12 basketfuls left over, 12 disciples. Everybody got a to-go bag, leaving out of that field that day. God's faith in God is always going to test us and push us and move us beyond our comfort zones. Faith usually doesn't stay there in that place that we're comfortable with, that we're familiar with, that we know how to handle. When we're following Jesus, frequently, we'll find ourselves in situations that we're like the disciples. God, this is impossible. We can't do this. We need more time. We need more money. We need more whatever. And yet God's saying, I want you to do it. And so today, if you find yourself in a situation that just seems impossible, that just is stretching your faith today, that should cause you and cause me today to even more lean in, grab hold of Jesus and say, Jesus, I need you. We can't do this without you. Help us. And he will today, I believe, do a miracle in your life.